Alright, welcome back. This is part 2 where we're going to design the actual interior part and set everything up for part 3, which will be modeling most of the stuff. Probably 3 and 4. Depends on how long I want to make 3. Um, this right here should prove that you don't have to be an artist, because this is just a rough sketch of what I came up with of the layout of the interior. Okay, so no real dimensions. I do know that I want the height to be about 8 foot to 10 foot, so I'll decide that in a minute. The placement of our Corbusier chair, the couch, rug, coffee table. It says lamp here, but these are just a general idea of where I want placement to be. As you can see, the camera's right here coming this way. Therefore, this wall will not even be bothered with. This wall will not even be seen. So we don't have to do anything over here or over here. Just what's in the camera view. So it should be this area right here. Since it's pointing towards this wall, I went ahead and instead of just having a sharp corner, I decided to bring it out like this, cut it off, something like a 45-degree angle, and about 4 foot or something like that. I've got a general idea of what I want the colors on the walls to look like. So I figured since the camera was pointing at this area or this location, I wanted this to be a brick wall. This is what's called the focal point. Everything else will be pretty much the same, and this will stand out among the rest of them. So it's either going to be a brick wall of some kind or a solid color where these will have different colors on them, and this will be one solid color. And this is probably where we'll put the Corbusier painting. So let's go ahead and begin with that, with this simple idea in mind. So I'm gonna start in my top viewport, bring out a box. I'm actually just gonna drag it out and bring it up like so. Go to my perspective view. And before I begin, I'm going to go to Customize, Unit Setup, US Standard, because I do live in the US. I'm going to go with fractional feet with 1/8 inches right there. So set that up. And our height is going to be, let's say 10 foot. The rest, it seems that it's 14 by 20, which is pretty much a standard little room, so we're actually going to go with that. Now, I'm not going to go through every little piece that I do as far as what buttons I press. You can follow along. I do hope that you understand Max a little bit and the basics of it, so I don't have to explain everything. I'm going to right-click the box, go to Convert to Editable Poly. Go to Poly Subobject Mode. I'm going to drag select the whole box so that all the polys are selected. I'm going to right click, come down here and flip normals. And you'll see that now instead of seeing the outside of the box, you can see the inside. We bring up this sketch and we see that this corner right here is going to be cut off at an angle. So I want to select that corner. So if I hit this corner right here, you see the little axis point, and it is that one. So I will come here and do a chamfer. And I said, I think I said 4 foot or something like that. If you don't know the exact measurement, just type it in there, and yeah, that'll do. I didn't go ahead and model this before I started recording, so everything I'm doing is pretty much winging it right now, so you're going to follow along with me and we'll get it right together. So that does look right, so I'm going to stick with that. Alt-W will bring up the one view. So I'll look at it like this. You can hit F4 and that will bring up your edges so that you can see. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set up all of my polygon properties to have certain IDs. This way it will allow me to use one material slot in my editor to color the entire interior from the floor, the walls, and the ceiling. So I want to give them all material IDs. However, this is not going to be a simple, these are not going to be simple walls. What I'm going to do is actually through here and here around, I'm going to split the polygons so that there's a strip of color here and a strip of color here, and in between will be a solid color. Like say it'll be white. I'm thinking I'm going to go with a lighter shade of burgundy, white, a darker shade of burgundy, white. So I want to split these polygons. So this is what I'm going to do. I'll get out edge, and actually let's do this instead. Let's select this inside edge and go over to ring, and what that does is it will select all the edges within that loop, and we'll come down to connect. Yeah, that'll do it. And like I said, I wanted two different strips of color, so 4 edges. So white, burgundy, white, burgundy, white. And that's exactly what I wanted, so I'm very happy with that. There's not going to be any windows that will be visible in this interior. However, we will want light from the environment later on to come into this. We're not going to just focus on the lights inside. So what I'm going to want to do is cut out this part right here. So before I begin, let's go ahead and set our material IDs first. How about that? That way I can take care of it for us. I'm going to hit ignore back facing, so I select only the polygons that I see and nothing from the back. Okay, so polygon 1, I want to be my floor. So I'm going to set the ID to 1. So when I select this, you'll see that it has an ID of 1. Let's go into edge right quick. Let's select these edges. We'll control select the rest and hit backspace. That will remove these edges. And let's do that on, let's leave that wall. Let's just leave that. That's fine. Let's do that. Let's go back into polygon. We'll do the ceiling next. We'll set that to 2. So we have the floor at 1, the ceiling at 2. This right here will be 3. Now that leaves the walls, which will be fairly easy to do. Select this ring, or this edge right here. Come up before, or like we did before, and hit ring. And then over here where it says polygon, hold down the control key, and then click that. Come over here, hold down the control alt key, and click that. So now we have that entire ring right there. So we have 1, 2, 3, and this will be ID 4. And actually, since this is white, and this is white, we want these two also to have the same. So let's come here and click here with control. Go to ring, hold down control, click polygon, control alt, click. We'll do that. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes I get confused I'm not the greatest at math, and even simple counting makes me look stupid sometimes. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and then we have 4, 4, and 4. So cool. Now we want this to be 5 and this to be 6. So we'll go to here, ring, control click, control alt click. I'll go to 5, edge, ring, control click, control alt click, and 6. So let's test that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 6. And good. That's everything. The reason that I'm going to leave, or I'm going to allow the color to be over here also, is due to lighting. I don't want our colors to be just on these walls and these to be left gray, because that'll mess up the lighting. As far as color bleeding goes, I don't want gray to bleed in with anything, so I want it to appear that even though the camera won't see this area, it will still allow for those colors to bleed into the rest of the interior. What I'm going to do now is have an opening for our wall. So this is what I'm going to do. Bring up the edge sub-object mode and control click these edges right here. Edit edges, go to connect and just do 2 and hit OK. Test our polys. You can see this is still 5, this is still 6, this is still 4, this is 4, this is 5, 4, 6. And that's still the same in there, but this doesn't matter because what we're going to do is delete these out. First, what we're going to do is select those by control clicking the polygons. Coming up to extrude, we're going to go, it really doesn't matter, just extrude negative a little bit, hit OK, and then hit delete. And there we go. So there's that. These polygons right here don't matter. So we have our basic interior set. We have our polygons. We have their IDs set so that we can make one multi-sub object mode later on. And when we apply it, we'll automatically put everything where we want it to be. So that's going to be great. I'm going to disable grid. If you want to get rid of the grid, just hit G, and that way you just have that. And that is basically where we are with that. So I'm happy with that. So let's move on to part 3, where we're actually going to start modeling some of the furniture to go into this. Stick around.